The human condition is fundamentally uncertain. Our brains, how they operate, are shot through with uncertainty. The world is shot through with uncertainty. And that uncertainty is like a cabinet with many drawers. One drawer is the probability drawer, another is the fuzzy drawer, another is the ambiguity drawer. And the closer we look at the universe, the more complicated it gets. And we try to make the best of it.
The glimmer of a scientific answer to the question of how our brains negotiate this eternal uncertainty is coming from scientists who are trying to build intelligent machines.
Imagine a machine that spent all its time checking that everything that it currently assumed still remained true before it generated an action. That would be the super proper, clear, intelligent way to behave on one understanding, but it would never do anything at all. It would spend all its time sitting there checking its assumptions. And that, of course, wouldn't look like intelligence to us. It would actually look like a kind of cognitive deficit.
Clarke has come to the unexpected conclusion that an intelligent robot could never be the Spock-like, super-rational being of science fiction. Belief without total knowledge, far from being primitive, is the very thing that makes them and us smart.
Any machine, any intelligent machine, will have to sometimes believe things on the basis of evidence that in itself is inadequate or insufficient. Otherwise you would just never get anything done. If we built a machine that believed some things that didn't seem well-grounded to me, and I asked it about them and it said, well, no, I just believe this and it seems to be useful for finding my way around in the world, I would think, yeah, no, this looks more like an intelligent machine than anything that I've encountered so far.
The fact that a machine will need to believe in order to act then raises the question whether ultimately belief in God would be part of its intelligence.
I think that the notion of belief isn't far removed from the notion of faith. Any machine, any intelligent machine will have to start somewhere. So I think that if we created something that we could recognize as intelligence, then it would have a strong tendency to believe in God.
And so in the end, we believe, because belief itself is written into the very fabric of this universe, as the only way of negotiating the complexities and uncertainties of life.
At the beginning of the 21st century, with more mature science, what comes back, I think, is a recognition that we need to have a sense of humility again, and we need to take responsibility for our actions. What I think we're learning is that with respect to living in these complex systems, we have to cultivate a different way of knowing, which is backed up by analysis. But instead of saying quantities and mathematics are the primary ways of knowing, I would say it's the other ways of knowing that are primary, and mathematics and quantities can be used to reinforce and back them up. We don't lose reductionism, we don't lose mathematics, we don't lose anything of value in Western culture, but we expand it in ways that allows it to heal these pathologies that have been generated by its own limitations.
I've come to think that we're meant to live with lack of proof and so on, as a reaction to what some of my fellow scientists believe. If you work with people who want everything sewn up exactly, everything in black and white and crisp, you begin to realise that you're losing quite a lot of the texture of life. Life's not black and white. There are tones of grey, and there's different degrees of specklediness, and there's glory in that, and in dappled things too. And so I have become suspicious of the neat package, something that is sewn up perfectly. I think we have to work with unknowns and unsolved and unresolved. I think that's where the art of living is.
The Torah, Jewish holy books, have no answers. They have only questions. If you were to ask me to define the very essence of the difference from other religions, it's that constant dialectic of questioning. All you can do is ask and keep asking. And in the very last moment, at the point of your death in Kafka's great parable, you're whispered, "You idiot, the answer was always there." But of course it isn't given to you. It isn't given to you. We're an animal that goes around asking questions. Questioning is the absolute duty of the soul. Whereas there are sensibilities which rejoice in the certitude of an answer, ours is, I think, on the whole, afraid of what might be the terrible boredom of paradise. I've never believed for a minute that Adam and Eve didn't know what they were doing. They couldn't stand another day in that Swiss sanatorium. And by being banished into history, into the agony of the world, life became enormously interesting.